Just want to say that I welcomed the decision and the agreement last evening and went into the early hours of the morning. But I think it's positive that Europe continues to work collectively in relation to this energy crisis. And since the outbreak of the crisis, Europe has acted collectively, particularly across Europe. Gas storage in particular is very high. There has been a decline across Europe in prices since August. Very strong signals have been sent to the market, and that continues to be the case in respect of last evening's decision. So a whole series of measures have been agreed that the Commission is to take forward, particularly in relation to spikes and to try and create stability in the gas market across Europe. That's the key objective, so that Europe is not subject to occasional spikes and significant spikes in energy prices. It's a very complex area because every country is coming at this from a different perspective, not least our own. But nonetheless, a stable gas market is good for everybody. It's good for Ireland. We export into the European market, as you know, quite significantly. So we see this as progress and a significant agreement again.
Will the Irish people see a reduction to their energy bills as a result of the decisions that were made yesterday and today?
Well, we import our gas from the United Kingdom. We're probably in a more our prices are lower than some across Europe, so there may not be an immediate impact, other than to say that any stabilisation of the gas market ultimately benefits us. That's the general point.
Talking of UK, who will be the most comfortable Prime Minister for you?
Well, I'm not getting into the internal decision making of the Conservative Party, and that's a matter for the British Conservative Party to elect their nominee and then for the British Parliament to approve.
Would it be fair to say, Taoiseach, that the EU knows where it wants to get to on gas prices, but not quite how it's going to get there?
I think it's fair to say yes, but a number of factors. One, to stabilise and to avoid the spikes. And if you look at what's happened over the last 9 months, you can see the various movements in price. It has been on a downward trajectory since the high point in August. Nonetheless, it's still much higher than was the case before the commencement of the war. So yes, there are significant complexities because of the different energy mixes. So, for example, France would have a significant nuclear dimension to their energy compared to Holland, for example, which would be strongly gas. We're 50-50 in terms of electricity generation. We do believe that if we can redesign the market to decouple the impact that gas has on the broader electricity prices, that would be beneficial to customers more generally. We think the decision on windfall that was taken earlier by the Energy Council will help Irish consumers, because we will get a windfall from companies and also a solidarity revenue, which we will be able to use in respect of alleviating pressures on households.
When do you expect that revenue?
I'd say it'll be early next year before that comes on stream.
So that would be an indication that early next year, because yourself and other ministers have said, the budget and the core social welfare increases after Christmas will only bring people so far. So is it expected that the revenue taken from the windfall charges will be used as financial measures next year to help people?
Well, you see, we've, as you know, because of the way the economies are going across Europe, one has to make sure that we have sufficient resources over the medium term, and that's right throughout 2023. So we will have reserves, and that revenue will add to those reserves to give us firepower to do things if we have to do it. One of the areas, for example, last evening, which I would have stressed, was the need for the reform of the temporary business scheme under the temporary aid crisis framework, which the Commission has done significant work on, because we're still examining the degree to which the scheme that has been announced and the broader European framework will allow us to deal with the issues for industry and for businesses and the protection of jobs, because it is there is no doubt that Europe is vis-a-vis the United States, or indeed China, if you look at the energy prices, has competitiveness issues in the short to medium term, particularly heavy industry and heavy energy users. So these are areas that will still need to be examined in terms of ensuring that we can protect jobs, keep companies viable throughout this winter, and then have a plan for the medium term. Because we know We know from President Zelensky's presentation last evening, which was quite somber, in terms of what's now going on within Ukraine, the destruction of the energy infrastructure in Ukraine by Russia to take the heating away from the civilians and energy, and also the mining of a key dam in the south, which could have, in the words of President Zelensky, catastrophic implications for people. So this war is becoming more severe on the economic infrastructure of Ukraine and on civilians, and therefore we have to take all that into consideration in terms of planning, not just now in the short term but medium term. And there is no doubt that this horrible war in the Ukraine is casting very significant clouds over the continent of Europe.
Do you know how much we're going to get from that windfall tax yet?
Not exactly yet, but we'll have the minister will have greater clarity of that within the next couple of weeks.
What do you think?
Supporting a tougher line in China and discussions later today?
Yeah, I'm doing a later media stop when I come back out of the meeting, so we'll deal with other issues then. So thank you very much.